listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome, everybody, to the Off the Cuff March Madness Series Road to the Final Four episode. I am Adam Banks, along with my OTC professional sports panel, Zach Hahn, Chad Rainwater, and finally, making his 2019 March Madness appearance, Jordan Conaster. Glad to have you back, Jordan.
Finally, man. I usually hate to miss shows, but the first two shows have not been my doing, but I missed them. It was terrible. The last show was my favorite show after the round of 32. Going into the Sweet 16, I hated to miss that.
Yeah, you didn't miss much, though. The round of 32 was kind of boring. We talked about that on the last episode, how it was kind of just vanilla.
You went from the year of upsets into the year of no upsets.
Quite possibly one of the greatest March Madnesses of all time was last year. I mean, UMBC beating Virginia, so you didn't miss much.
Most exciting, yes. You had a lot of you had so many upsets, but you also had like 4 or 5, like 10, 11 seeds, and like in the Elite Eight. It was a different tournament last year.
Last year had Loyola, and that was beyond anything that we've had this year.
Yeah, they had storylines like Sister Jean and
well, they had I really can't keep it under wraps anymore, man. They had the wheelchair game today.
They did, but a Final Four is set. Well, officially 3 is set. That is Auburn, Texas Tech making its first Final Four appearance.
Yeah, and then this one just got underway in the second half.
And then we have Virginia, which
is like a special live episode.
It is a special live episode. And then officially not in the Final Four yet. The game is active in real time. Michigan State versus Duke, 36-30. Michigan State on top.
Yeah. So let's go Michigan State. Let's take down the Dukies.
Okay, so this episode, we're here to talk about the Sweet and the Elite. And I want to start off talking, since we brought up Duke, let's talk about Duke. They took on Buzz Williams, Virginia Tech. Buzzy looked like that he coached them well. Zach, you're a big fan of Buzz. I think that
he's already somewhere else, isn't he?
Well, it's very, very much almost a done deal that he's going to
Looks
Texas
like
A&M.
A&M for me. Yeah, that's what the word is.
The SEC is on the up and up when it comes to basketball.
I mean, my question is what does Buzz see in the SEC? Why is he leaving pretty much the same caliber of school as in Virginia Tech with the ACC, who has Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, 3 number 1 seeds? You don't see that very often. Yeah. To come to the ACC. Yeah. Or to the SEC, I'm sorry. Yeah. But that's just...
I think that's a great hire for A&M. I don't know how, I don't know why, but Buzz Williams in the SEC, he is going to light it up.
Watch it.
He might win 20 games his first season.
Yeah, hey, I love it.
I do too. I'm glad to see Buzz in the SEC.
The 3-piece suit out in Texas, the man from Texas. Oh, he's going to great hire for A&M. I don't know how much they paid for him, but it was worth every penny.
Yeah, hey, every single penny. What is Buzz Williams, since he has been coaching? What has Buzz Williams really done wrong? He's brought every program that he's coached to being a prominent team in their conference. Yeah. In a title contender in the NCAA tournament.
Virginia Tech, they're
Sweet
a football
16
school through and through, and he turned their basketball program into the class of the ACC. Really, I thought he was the ACC Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
I could definitely see the ACC Coach of the Year out of Buzz Williams.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think the SEC has the best coaches in college basketball. Think about the coaches that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
a
done deal now.
Every SEC team, look at their coach. You're going to be satisfied with who's there. Even South Carolina, Frank Martin.
Yeah, I'm not going to say every school. You have your Arkansas hire that needs to be made. You have your Vanderbilt hire that needs to be made.
Which will be from Houston. Yeah, that's almost a done deal as well.
He
already. Didn't you see him coaching? Didn't you see him coaching that game?
Anderson.
Didn't you see him coaching that game? He already had 1 foot in Arkansas.
Yeah, he did.
And 1 foot on the sideline when he was coaching Houston.
They asked him about it, and he said, "What school?" It was the worst denial that ever was. He's going to Arkansas. Sources tell me.
Hey, that just makes the SEC even better. I love it.
Well,
I want everything about the SEC to be the best conference in basketball, just as they are in football.
And football.
Welcome to the show, Chad.
I'm here. I made it. I was a little late.
Chad's here.
I was running a little late.
Of all time.
Yeah. He takes care of a lot of our production issues, and we were having a little, and He was back in the back doing them.
I was waiting to make my appearance. I don't know if I got introduced. I wasn't here or introduced. I wasn't here to hear that. But,
I introduced you.
Okay, well, I'm glad to be back on the show again. But like you guys were saying, I wouldn't mind seeing Buzz Williams on the SEC. I think in our first show, the Selection Sunday show, we actually mentioned that he was a front runner for that job, and I believe that actually last night I did see that the report was that it was a done deal in quotation marks. So I guess it is a done deal.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be great to see Buzzy in the SEC. So, Duke, they defeated Virginia Tech. Of course, they're still playing this game in real time, so we'll update you as the podcast continues. I want us all to go around and name our top 3 games. Now, if we all agree of these 3 games, then we're going to talk about these 3. And I think we pretty much all have the agreement with the most exciting 3 games of the Sweet 16 and Elite 8. And I'm going to say,
like you said, if we're going as a whole, I think the best 3 games we saw were in the past 3 or 4 days. I think these games in the Elite 8 have been the best games we've seen all tournament, starting with the, it was a Thursday night game, Tennessee and Purdue. That was
to make it a chance, and the officiating was so bad.
Yeah, I was thinking Purdue.
So bad. Purdue took like 6.5 seconds to inbound the ball on the last possession they had, and they didn't call it, and they called every foul. But it was still exciting. That's March, right? Like, there's going to be one game with bad officiating.
Well, the next game with Purdue, Virginia.
Yeah.
What more could you have asked for out of an NCAA tournament game?
Yeah, for an Elite 8,
yes. Carson Williams just hitting everything. I mean, he looked like Steph Curry. At the current moment in the NBA, he hit every shot from every spot on the floor that he took.
It was a good game, but I'd probably knock it out after this Kentucky-Auburn game.
Oh, Kentucky-Auburn was a heartbreaker. I hate
to be the one to bring it up.
That
was a hell of a game.
It was.
Kentucky-Auburn was a hell of a game.
I want to see Auburn win it all now. I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to root for Auburn. I like Bruce Pearl. I think he does genuinely care about his program and his players. And
he's regenerating the SEC.
He is.
He's brought Auburn to prominence. You don't see that. Yeah, he brought Tennessee there. He had the scandals, and he got fired.
If Kentucky had to lose, I would have rather them lose to Auburn than any other team, really. I mean,
any other team in the SEC.
Yeah.
I would have been more upset to see Kentucky lose to any other team than Auburn in the SEC in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
I like Bruce Pearl. Bruce Pearl is a hell of a coach. He's an animated person. He's one of the most fun coaches to watch in college basketball. I say Tom Izzo, and then
Tom Izzo's not fun to watch at all.
You have Frank Martin, and you have Bruce Pearl. In my opinion, those are the top 3 just fun animated coaches.
Yeah,
and you can throw Calipari in there as well.
I'd like to see a South Carolina Auburn game. I'd watch that.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So does Auburn keep Bruce, or is Bruce moving on to bigger and better things after this Auburn Final Four appearance? No. Oh, you think he's staying with Auburn?
He made it to the Final Four with them. This SEC basketball, we've been sitting here talking about how great it is the whole time. You think he's going to leave Auburn now? He's got them to at least a 5-star. They're a 5-star team now.
Mark my words here right now. You're going to see. All right. Roy Williams at North Carolina suffers from vertigo. He went down. He went down
in a conspiracy theory.
He went down in another game this year. Roy Williams is getting older.
Yeah.
Roy Williams is arguably the best coach in college basketball too.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Roy Williams is one hell of a coach, but Roy Williams also suffers from a disease that he's not able to stay throughout games.
Right.
Where are you going with this, Jordan?
I'm saying that Bruce Pearl will be the next Tennessee hire, or will be the next
North Carolina
hire.
I thought that. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. Coach K, Roy Williams, those guys are getting older. They're pushing 73, 74. Those guys, I appreciate that they're still coaching. I think the game is better with them in it. And it gives us all hope that people like Roy and Coach K can still keep it going like they do. But I agree with you, Jordan, because you look at the great coaches out there. Bruce Pearl is one. I was excited when Auburn hired him, and I knew that he would get him to a point like this eventually. It just sucks that it had to be against Kentucky, the team we all root for.
Well, and I've been saying all day, it's March Madness is fun, but it's really a shame that we beat Auburn 2 out of 3 times this year, and somehow they get to keep going on to the championship, and we don't. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna throw that out there.
I did coming into today's game. I told you I was kind of nervous because they always say, and I bring this up every year, and I bring this up every podcast, that when you play when you're trying to beat a team a third time, it's real tough. And Zach, you mentioned Auburn. You've been talking about Auburn this whole tournament. You said from the get-go in show 1 we had that Auburn
they were going to be exciting.
Yes, you did say, and they were going to play as their guard.
Harper's a star, dude. If Harper doesn't have an NBA career, I don't know what these NBA teams are thinking, man. He's the fastest guy in college basketball.
Yeah, I agree.
One hell of a shot too. One hell of a shot.
And the free throws, he didn't miss down the stretch.
It was a great performance by Auburn.
And Brown had over 22.
It was. But congrats, Auburn, first Final Four appearance, and Bruce Pearl's first Final Four appearance.
Hey, on this podcast, no hard feelings. If Kentucky was to lose to anybody in the Elite Eight that's in the Elite Eight right now, I'm happy it was Auburn.
Yeah.
Good game, Auburn. Good game, Auburn. Kentucky will be back next year. There's no need to worry, Kentucky fans. But let's go War Damn Eagle, and let's go championship game for Auburn.
All right. Yeah, I want to talk about Texas Tech. They're another team in the Final Four. Texas Tech, let me say this. Billy Gillespie has to be salty, the most saltiest man in the United States of America, because I was thinking about him. 2 of his teams was kicking ass in the NCAA tournament, Kentucky and Texas Tech. And
we're gonna have to
he
end
coached
this episode with you dropping the A-bomb like that.
Oh, the A-bomb? On Off the Cuff. Have you heard episode 2? Have you heard episode 5? Have you heard episode 100?
On the show before.
Oh my goodness.
You're going to create a lot of work for the producers.
But I was thinking about him because he coached both of those teams. And what's he thinking, seeing both of the teams he destroyed kicking ass in the tournament? Ooh, I dropped it again.
Hey, he just won an NAIA tournament championship.
He's still drinking.
That's what's going on. And,
he's an addict.
And he probably had about 14 shots of vodka, 17 Miller Lights.
They say he stayed drunk at Texas A&M. Billy Gillespie.
And he's probably hanging out with DeAndre Liggins' girlfriend.
Probably.
Or Alex Legion. Alex Legion's girlfriend. That's who it was.
Alex Legion. He hung out with Alex Legion's girlfriend?
Alex Legion's girlfriend, apparently left him for Billy Gillespie.
Oh, my God. I didn't even know
That's hilarious. Well, I met Billy Gillespie. Did you guys know that? I met him at Keeneland one time. Shook his hand. I walked up to him. He was drunk as could be. His eyes were glazed. And I just walked up to him and said, "Hey, Coach, my name's Adam Banks." And he thought he knew me because he was trying to figure out who I was. And he was smiling, and he was drunker than Peter Brown.
All you had to do is be like, "Man, we went to grade school together, man." He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you."
Oh yeah, he probably would have went along with it. But, he has to be.
How do we get on the topic of Billy G?
I know, poor guy.
I tell you, that's one guy that is not coaching in this March Madness.
No, and never will be ever. I would ever foresee him coaching.
Well, this is look at me contributing to the.
I was thinking
Michigan State up 2 in this one.
Oh yeah, it's this game, Michigan State Duke in real time. It's coming down to the wire. 13 minutes to go still.
Oh, there goes Zion.
Welcome back, Chad. Join the podcast.
I've been focused on this game, man. This has been one heck of a game. It's back and forth, and there goes the 3, Michigan State. Put back. Oh, and again.
We've had Chad over here, and he's been focused on the sound quality of this podcast.
Yeah, he was even
I'm salty about losing.
The headphones on, and Chad has been the most.
He's never been late for a podcast.
The biggest quality producer that you could ever ask for out of Chad.
He's never been late for a podcast, and he was late, so he's getting fined at least $100. You can go ahead and Venmo.
You can take it out of my. You can take it out of my paycheck.
Venmo that to me. Okay, but let me get back on the topic of Texas Tech. Head basketball coach Chris Beard. One of the greats I put him in top 10 active coaches in college basketball right now.
I saw a fun fact about him. He's had 12 different jobs since he started coaching a collegiate level of basketball.
You have to work your way up though to get to this level.
But whenever you work your way up and you get bumped back down to a
that's the landscape of the career.
Junior college, you said he started at junior college.
He was doing junior colleges. He was doing everything. They pretty much, this guy was living out of the trunk of his car because he couldn't get a job.
Yeah.
Nobody would hire this guy. He failed at every program, and then he goes to Texas A&M, and now he looks like the most intelligent coach in college basketball.
Or Texas Tech.
What if he beat Duke?
He looks like your next. He looks like your next Shaka Smart or.
Well, Shaka's not doing so great at Texas.
Yeah.
Shaka was a hell of a coach, though, man. But
he had
anyways,
one good.
He's got talent, man. He's got talent. He's got everything all in all throughout the court, and his team plays like no other team that I've seen in a while.
Potentially,
they're out there. They're out there and they're ready to go.
They could be potentially Michigan State or Duke. Easy.
So I'm kind of curious, the only thing that worries me about Texas Tech is I did watch them after Azubuike went out for Kansas. And they look confused against Kansas. I'm pretty sure they did win the game, but Texas Tech just
they did beat Kansas one time.
They just kind of look confused. So that scares me about what they can do, but the potential's there, man.
They took down Gonzaga, man. Gonzaga was no joke.
They played defense against Gonzaga. Gonzaga was the highest scoring team in the nation this year, and they just completely obliterated them. They eliminated that Tilly kid from three. I mean, what's the kid's
Brandon
name?
Clark.
Brandon Clark is a rebounding machine. I would be drafting Brandon Clark if I was a team.
Clark had a good team, but what's that? Rui Hachimura?
Hachimura.
They pretty much eliminated him as well. And I mean, once you can eliminate two of the three big men, and especially if you can eliminate Tilly, their stretch big man, you had the game sealed up at that point.
So whoever wins this Michigan State Duke game, I think they're pretty much. It's a telling with the way this Elite Eight's been going. I really wasn't expecting any of the teams that are in it right now to be in it. Honestly, I mean, besides Virginia.
Honestly, I was not. I wasn't thinking Virginia was still going to be in it. So you have the point to where I don't know. My Final Four predictions were way off.
Is this your bracket?
This is one of my brackets. Let me look at this bracket.
You had Murray State.
This is the first bracket I filled out. All right. Actually, in my main bracket, I did have Duke coming out of the East. I had Florida coming out of the West. I had Tennessee coming out of the South and Kentucky out of the Midwest.
Yeah.
Which I failed miserably in that assumption, but at this point, I do think Duke is the best team left in the tournament with the talent that Duke has. Just all in all, Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett are two hell ball players. See, if you want to disagree with me, then we're just going to have to disagree.
Yeah, you're taking the team that's not even made it to the Final Four yet, though. So you're still saying that you would take Duke it so many times. They've tried to lose it in the second round. They tried to lose in the Sweet 16, and look, it looks like they're trying to lose to Tom Izzo and Michigan State.
And I'm right here.
What a game! What a game this has been.
It is. It's a great game.
I hope the Spartans can take down the Blue Devils, but I still think Duke is the best team.
One game we haven't talked about in the Sweet 16 was LSU and Michigan State. SEC went downhill. What's going on outside the studio? We got some action.
I actually came to pick Zach up right in the middle of the show, and apparently Ashley's gone now.
Folks, I'm going to tell you, Ashley, I don't think we're getting a divorce or anything like that. I'm not going to break any news onto you.
I think you're going to have to find a ride.
But she's going to come back. She's going to come back. The podcast.
She could have joined.
Yeah, no, we are professionals on this show.
Yeah.
And the podcast takes precedence. We are going to continue on the air for you, the folks at home. We're doing this for you.
I appreciate you staying. But Chad, you've not contributed a lot. What's been going on? You've been focusing on the audio.
I told you I'm a little salty about this game. I'm a little ticked, and the only thing that I guess the salt in the wound here would be Duke winning, which I'm sure that's going to happen because when it rains it pours. And I mean, I look forward to this game that we played against Auburn, and we had multiple chances to win it. Should have won it in regulation. Just once again for the second year in a row, free throws were our enemy. Way too many turnovers. They won the turnover battle 14-9.
Yeah, down the stretch, that's what I was saying.
Oh, let's surprise him and have him come on the show. He ain't been on in a while. Josh, is that Sammy?
Hey, folks, I'm going to try to bring a special guest on. Give me just a second.
Yeah. Bring him in. I want him on.
We're live.
Yeah, and Josh has been on 28 episodes of Off the Cuff.
Can I introduce him?
Josh, yeah.
Can I introduce him?
Well, Josh.
Now appearing on Off the Cuff, Josh, Bryant, and Sam Wingate.
Oh yeah, Sammy, first time on the show. Josh, how you been? It's your first appearance in like what, a year and a half?
Well, I had to take some time off the air because I was doing a live show. So.
You look like you've lost some weight.
Yeah, you look great, man.
You actually look like you just got done robbing a bank.
Well, on Sundays, I don't know what you all do. Well, obviously, I do.
We know what you do. You rob
banks.
We work on cars because my Ford only makes it, about a week before it needs some more repairing done.
Fixed or repaired daily.
Get a Ford then.
It's a true story.
Did you watch the Kentucky game?
Of course.
You did?
I did.
Who won?
Auburn.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, tough question there.
Okay, I was just making sure you watched it.
You know why we lost? Pop quiz, kids.
We already talked about it.
We didn't win the turnover.
Why did we lose?
We didn't win the
free
turnover
throws.
battle.
Chad wins.
For the second year in a row.
Yeah, turnovers is
all we needed was to hit one free throw, and 1 point would have been the difference in the game.
Well, one turnover would have been the difference.
Let's not foul the guy who literally hit 11 for 11. How about that?
Or waste 15 seconds trying to foul somebody. He's running around, and we just chase him.
But the moral of the story, kid, is practice free throws and don't turn the ball over.
Well, that's always been a bugaboo for Cal. His team is always bad at shooting free throws. It really hadn't been a problem actually the whole year until right now.
I do have a question for you, Chad. And I know this is an emotional moment for you. You're really in the moment and in your emotion. But what's your thoughts on John Calipari?
Why are you going to ask me this right after a loss? We've talked about this multiple times.
I want a raw emotion. I want a raw emotion and a real answer. What is your thoughts on Coach John Calipari?
I really think that Cal's overrated. He's a great recruiter.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean,
let's hear it.
Okay, what is his 10th year? His 10th year, we have one title. What does BBN live for? We don't live for Elite Eights. Yeah, he's made it to 8 Elite Eights, but we don't have anything to show for that. This isn't Indiana.
7 Elite Eights.
No, this is 8. This is the 8th of 10 years.
Oh yeah, no. This is 7. He didn't make it to 3. He went to the NIT 1 year. He went to the Sweet 16 another, and lost to Indiana in the second round. He's been here 10 years. He's been to 7 Elite Eights.
Oh, 7 Elite Eights. Yes. Okay. Anyway, so he has 7 Elite Eights. How many Final Fours? 34.
Several. Too many, not enough champions.
Here's what we haven't talked about. These guys, all of these guys, need to come back. If they all come back, we will be champions.
Yeah, Dream World.
No, I want to talk about John Calipari for a second.
We will be champions.
I want to talk about John Calipari for a second. I want to know, is John Calipari, was this his only year to do it again? Because the G League rule.
No, if they all come back. Yeah, so the G League, right? The G League Elite, that's what they're calling that, isn't it? Where they pay him $150,000 a year to come to the G League.
I don't think that starts until 2022.
Oh. No, I think it starts next year.
Yeah, I thought it was 2022.
Yeah, it starts next year.
It starts next year?
Yeah, well, somebody needs to look it up. But when that starts, it's going to go back to you need to have guys stay in college. And Jordan and I were talking about earlier. I wish Jordan was still sitting here.
He just
PJ.
left.
He's saying PJ has a chance to come back. He's saying, PJ comes from an affluent background. And
did Terrence Jones come back?
No.
PJ's better than Terrence Jones.
Terrence Jones hasn't been a part of the program in.
Terrence Jones won a championship.
So the point is, Terrence Jones didn't come back, so why's PJ come back?
Well, it's a different game. That's what I'm talking about now.
I mean, hopefully he does come back,
Yeah, well, what can we dream? At this point, nobody has declared. I'm a sales pitch. You know what? I'm in the media for UK, and I'm gonna encourage all these guys to come back because you'll be champion.
Apparently, right after the game, it looks like Ashton Hagans was the only one asked about if he was going to the NBA, and all he had to say was, I've had one hell of a year. So you could take that as he's had one hell of a year, he's done, or he's had one hell of a year and he's enjoyed it so much he'll be back for a second year. So he really can't take much out of that. I mean, so you really don't get an answer about that, but I don't think there's any way Ashton Hagans goes pro.
It's nothing but raw emotion right now.
Yeah, I love the fact that they interview people right after games. I know it would be horrible to do if I was in that situation.
Keep the story going.
But it's great because you do get real raw emotion, and that's why I wanted to do the podcast. I wanted to turn it on right now to get everybody's raw.
Are you going to use this podcast?
Why not? Why not?
It's a bold move.
It is. It is a bold move.
If anybody's listening, I don't want to steal it from you, but just thank you for listening. That's great.
Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah, if you're still with us, especially, thanks for listening.
Thank you. Yeah, great. You are a true fan of Off the Cuff. Thank you. I hope you like me. I know you like Adam.
We still have another Podcast-E2, we have one more left in the March Madness series, the post-championship game where we talk about the Final Four. I hope the whole episode isn't me having to talk about the legacy of Coach K, because I really don't want to, but I'm going to have to if he wins another title.
Of course. I mean,
I'm going to have to.
And who are you going to have to talk about even more besides Coach K?
Bruce Pearl.
Zion Williamson.
Oh.
Here's the thing. I
thought you meant it.
I got Coach K wins. You have to talk about his students.
I got Duke winning my bracket. And if you're in the off-the-cuff bracket pool, I think I probably am going to. What do you think? You think I got it? You think I got it?
I think you do. And I want to talk. I'm glad you brought the off-the-cuff bracket pool up. Thanks to all the participants who joined the off-the-cuff bracket pool. You will notice that you will get a coffee cup from Off the Cuff. And Zach has an idea that he wants the coffee cup to be like a trophy passed around. Yeah. So he's only going to keep it a year, and who wins next year gets to pass it around. So I said it's going to be the grossest coffee cup in history.
No, I'm going to clean it out.
Because if everybody drinks out of it.
Come on, you can't sit there and tell me, like, oh, you can't keep a coffee cup clean. Like, I can give you a used coffee cup that's clean. Like, it's not that hard to use some fucking... Oh, wow, you're going to really have to believe me out on that one.
Zach's coming in with a language.
Yeah, I did. I hit an F-bomb there. You know what?
Oh, did he?
Win the trophy next year, and I'll give you the coffee cup as a title, if I win it.
Oh, we have talked about pretty much everything we possibly can with the Sweet and Elite teams.
The last thing that I have to say about the NCAA tournament and the Final Four is War Damn Eagle. Go Auburn. I hope Auburn wins the NCAA tournament this year.
It'd be
hell
nice.
Of a game. Hell of a game from Auburn.
It'd be nice to lose to the champion.
Hey, I love Bruce Pearl. We talked about this earlier in the show before you showed up. I love Bruce Pearl. I would love to see Bruce Pearl get him a title.
Yeah, I've seen Bruce.
So, and I would love, I would not love to lose to the champion, but if I'm going to lose to anybody, I want Auburn to be the champion.
Yeah.
So let's go War Damn Eagle. Let's go.
Bruce
let's go
Pearl
Auburn.
really appreciates his fan base. I've seen him come to Lexington and literally hang out at a Lexington bar and talk to his fans.
Bruce?
For hours on end.
Bruce had fans in Lexington?
Yes, he has a big Auburn fan base in Lexington. You'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, I promise you that.
Zach's wife is one of them. She would kill me if she heard me say that.
Hey,
I always tease her about Bruce Pearl. No, I agree with you, Jordan. Listen, I've talked about Bruce Pearl. I've said that Bruce Pearl is one of the best in the games. We've talked about that, and he's an excellent hire he was an excellent hire when they hired him in 2015. And if he won a title, I would be nothing but happy for him.
I mean, you see people like me. I love Bruce Pearl. I love Bruce Pearl at Tennessee. He kept things interesting in the SEC. You see, like my father loves Bruce Pearl. Like he's just, and my dad's he's an old school. He's an old school Kentucky fan, and
I hope Bruce Pearl doesn't have a heart attack in the Final Four. Like he has been so red,
sweaty.
He's so animated though. Do you not love that out of college basketball?
Oh yeah.
Can you not love that out of college basketball?
It's the best part of college basketball. I think
that's what makes March Madness the best part.
Did you get a meme of him?
I got the video.
He was shaking his head. He was shaking his head. No.
I got the video.
That call.
I got a video meme of Bruce Pearl that I will post to the Off the Cup page.
Yeah, this is the best meme you could get.
Chad, anything to add?
If you watch the game, you know which moment we're talking about where Bruce Pearl was shaking his head no to the call. That is, Jordan's got a great meme set up for you. Thanks for listening again.
No, I don't have anything to add. We covered everything. I'm not really in the greatest mood today. I mean, you know what happened, but it's all good. As long as Duke loses, I won't be happy, but I'll be satisfied, I guess.
Give you one last update before we end the show. 58-58, tied game, 4:53 to go in the second half.
Yeah.
So anything can happen.
We'd probably keep going, but this was about 30 minutes away from it.
This is still another 30 minutes. And I love the last 3 minutes of college basketball. That's what college basketball is all about, the last 3 minutes, to see what the players can do,
what the
coaches can draw up. I love the last 3 minutes of college basketball. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Road to the Final Four episode here on the March Madness series on Off the Cuff. We'll be back to close out the March Madness series next week after the Final Four is played out, and we will discuss the champion and hopefully not the legacy of Coach K.
Well, thanks for finally having me. Well, I'm going to say that for finally having me thank you for having me. I'm glad that I finally got to show up on a show.
Yeah, great to have you,
guys. It was great joining y'all. I feel like it was another great show. It's been another great March Madness. Granted, Kentucky lost, but hey, it was awesome being with you all, seeing y'all, talking a little college basketball with y'all. Appreciate it, fellas.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully one year we'll be able to join. We'll be doing these shows live from the championship with Kentucky in it. That'll be fun.
That would be great.
Yep. All right. See you guys in the next episode.